Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. We also have a story for you that formed part of the UN Secretary General's visit to the country. But before we continue, we'd like to remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Now, this was the visit of all visits. The United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, may have left the country already, but he left a lot of memories wherever he touched in Nigeria. The UN envoy, who visited a neighborhood immunization center in Abuja, promised to rally global support for Nigeria's efforts to attain a polio-free status by the year 2017. He commended the federal government for interrupting polio transmissions in the last 1 year. And Nigeria recently celebrated 1 year without a new polio case, but will be certified by the World Health Organization in 2017 if there are no new cases of polio transmission before then. While in the country, the United Nations Secretary General addressed several issues including health, human rights, security, and climate change. Now, shops and model parks causing traffic gridlock in the Abuja-Kefi Highway have been given 2 weeks to relocate. Governor Tanko al-Makura of Nasarawa State, on a working visit to that area, has vowed to clear all hindrances on the Karu axis of the road. The governor says that the state task force is working with the military to ensure that the area is cleared of the gridlock. He also added that during the tour, he will ensure that the waterways in the area are free of dirt.
The other smaller markets, informal markets that have sprung up in different places are being supported by government, and we are trying to evacuate markets that find themselves within this highway because they are part of the problems that cause gridlock, like the building material markets, some of the parks and garages that are put indiscriminately will all now be moved to an area where there is a perimeter fence. Anybody who wants to operate a garage for any transport fleet must have that garage encapsulated within a perimeter where it does not temper or hamper flow of traffic. Finally, some of the plots and lands that belong to government that are supposed to be used for public services will be looked into with a view to converting such plots for people to use to ensure that their vocation and activities got some support from government for more efficiency and more benefits.
Governor of Nasarawa State, Mr. Tanko al-Makura, to the Federal Capital Territory now, where some indigents of Plateau State resident in Abuja have protested attacks by gunmen which have continued in different communities in parts of their home state, that is Plateau State. Addressing, and according to them, since May this year, an average of 10 people have died daily in attacks, especially in Barkinladi, Riyom, and Bokos areas of Plateau. They're calling on the federal and state governments to take practical steps to end the acts of terror. Take a listen.
What is going on in Plateau State today is senseless, is evil, and it has to be condemned by all. You know, on a daily basis, our people are being slaughtered mercilessly without any little bit of restraint whatsoever. Whatever caused this problem, enough is enough. It has to stop now. I sincerely want to call on the president to speak on this issue, to intervene on this issue, and to call all the parties together and say enough is enough.
Unless we speak, nobody will speak for us. And so we're speaking, and we're hoping that the world will hear us. We're hoping that somebody will say, no, I'm an American, but this is a human being. We're hoping that somebody in Lagos will say, I'm a Lagosian, but this is Nigeria. Let us feel like we're part of Nigeria. Let us feel like we're part of the world. Let us feel like somebody is listening to us. All we just ask for is peace. Peace. Let us live our lives.
This next protest happened in the south-south part of the country, away from the one you just saw, under the aegis of the Automobile Technicians Association of Nigeria. They stormed the Delta State House of Assembly to press for their demands, which include urgent provision of mechanic villages by the government. The national patron of the association, Mr. Francis Ismail, alleges that automobile technicians in Delta State are constantly being intimidated by local government officials in their various workshops. He said that plots of land earlier allocated to them have been hijacked by politicians who use them for their own personal private projects.
Members of the Automobile Technicians Association of Nigeria, Delta State, carrying placards with various inscriptions. They are here at the State House of Assembly to demand for the provision of a mechanic village. The technicians say their activities in local government areas have been threatened by council authorities who harass them. They also allege that the land available to them has been hijacked by politicians.
We are actually going through a lot of stress, a lot of oppression from the local governments in Delta State. All our mechanics are actually going through a lot of stress, a lot of intimidations. The mechanic village are being seized, hijacked by people that want to use the mechanic village as a business atmosphere for their own personal greed and selfish interests. Our mechanics are serving Nigeria. No institution, no government in Nigeria has contributed anything in the life of any mechanic in Nigeria. So far, whatever I'm trying to say now is for the state government and the federal government itself to come into the situation, the problem where what the mechanics are passing through. A lot of mechanics are in prison today because of their own fundamental human rights being abused. Mechanics today in Asaba, Delta State, they're also suffering this thing. The entire local government in Delta State are passing through this stress too. No local government, as I'm speaking now, has a right to walk freely in the mechanic village. We have no mechanic village. All the mechanic villages have been distributed by politicians. It's today their own personal land. We don't want it so. We want the state to give us our own land. That is all we want.
Calming the aggrieved protesters, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transport, appealed to them not to resort to violence, as their matter will be addressed.
I want to assure you that government will look into your problem.
Thank you.
We will listen to all parties and ensure that justice is upheld. We don't want you to resort to violence or anything that will not tell good of your association or your union.
There's a meeting scheduled between the protesting automobile technicians and other parties by the Ministry of Transport. Hopefully, issues leading to this demonstration will soon be resolved.
We're crisscrossing the Nigerian states from the south-south to the southeast. When News Across Nigeria returns, Imo State government reveals plans to build an industrial park. Stay with us.